The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting WayFM.
Stories served with a side of Southern sass.
You're breaking my hair!
I mean charm. Here's Betty Rock.
Thanks to COVID pandemic, many people's jobs were moved to a work from home situation to keep them from being exposed to coronavirus at a regular office. And Zoom meetings made it easier to work remotely since it was possible to still have those boring business meetings.
I mean, we did the show through Zoom. There was a time when you were at home for a little while, and we did it through Zoom, and that was horrendous.
It was, and because I noticed, like, if there were a lot of people using Zoom, then there would be this lag. So Wally would say a joke, and he would expect me to instantly have a reaction.
But 2 seconds later.
Right. I'd be like, yeah, I'd be like,
okay, who's going next?
So it really did not do well for us. But slowly, most businesses have been trying to get their workers back in the office, saying that productivity and morale are better when regularly in an office environment. And I would agree with that.
Oh, yeah. I've spent a couple weeks because of like snow at home, and I just don't feel productive at home. I don't like blurring the line between work and relaxation.
Yes, I agree with you. And it turns out that Zoom is even agreeing now. So despite at first stating that working remotely over Zoom was just as effective as in person, head officials at Zoom have noticed that they were wrong. The lack of productivity with their own remote employees has gone down. So they have informed their staff that, quote, employees who live near an office should be on site 2 days a week.
Oh, that's such a bummer for them. And it's ironic, too, because of all of the companies in the world, you'd think that they would be, hey, everybody could work from home and should work from home.
Yes, but it's not going to happen. So if you're still working from home thanks to COVID, man, count your lucky stars. But now with Zoom saying we need our employees back, I just don't know if it's going to last much longer.
Yeah, maybe they just got tired of people like working from their bedroom, working in their
That's
bed,
right.
maybe.
Can't work in your PJs anymore.
Oh, no.
It's easy to let the fear of the unknown keep us from doing something that is good for us. But going back to school might not be quite what you think.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears going back to school was I'd have to watch a ton of online lectures, and I kind of have a problem staying awake during stuff like that. But it was so different than I had imagined and way better.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I was going to have to take a bunch of tests, which I am not a fan of. But instead, I was able to write papers, which for me was way better.
Plus, you have the flexibility to work in school around your work and life schedule. Another big fear I had is, what if I don't understand something? What do I do?
Yeah, CCU, they foster community with your classmates, and they are a great resource. And Colorado Christian University has very responsive online professors who are there to help you so you are never alone as an online student at CCU.
Learn more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
Uplifting WayFM.
We definitely need a little more of this in the world.
Oh, that's how you do it, kids.
It's The Wally Show.
I think that most people who aren't obsessed with exercise tend to look for the easiest ways to stay in shape. And I think the app TikTok is a great place to look for advice on fitness. And apparently there is a new trend that is blowing up there, and I am all in on this. It is called Cozy Cardio.
I love everything about the title because I love to be cozy, and I know I need to do better. Like, I don't do any cardio, so I know I need to do better.
Well, you do this thing every once in a while where you'll stand up and you'll just like bob at your desk.
Well, that's because the blood in my legs is like pooling or something, and my legs feel funny because I don't do cardio.
I know. Well, and out there's so many, I think, intimidating exercise. There's this thing called high intense interval training.
No.
and that's for people that care. I care about cozy cardio. And so to describe what cozy cardio is, it says that you might dim the lights in your living room.
Okay.
Grab a few candles.
Yes.
Put on some comfy clothes. Turn on Netflix. Have your favorite Gatorade or flavored water ready to go. And then do some light walking on a treadmill. Or anything that's not too difficult.
I could get down with this, especially the candles part. And I get to exercise in my pajamas. I think the hardest part would be staying motivated.
Yes, I think that what's important though is that something is always going to be better than nothing. So you're saying
That's
you
true.
do nothing, and the only thing that you can start doing is something.
Right.
And walking in your living and walking. I am a big believer in walking as a form of exercise. And if you can do that in your living room with your scented candle and your favorite Netflix show going, it's a good time.
We could have a cozy, what did you call it?
Cozy cardio.
A cozy cardio party.
Oh,
How
let's do
fun
it.
would it be? Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Rock Report with Betty Rock.
I'm a kid of the late 80s, so when I found this list of supposedly the best kid movies from the 80s, I had to know. Now, Gavin, I know you're a product of the 90s,
Yes.
but most people around my age would agree kid movies from the 80s, they were in their own category because they would all leave you scarred.
Oh, see, and so many things these days are focused on positivity and love and unicorns.
That was not the story in the 80s. Let me give you a few examples, okay? The Land Before Time from 1988. So Littlefoot, he's a young plant-eating dinosaur, is orphaned after his mom passes from protecting him from a T-Rex, and he's left to find the Great Valley all alone.
Do you remember the way to the Great Valley?
I guess so. But why do I have to know? You're gonna be with me.
I'll be with you. You can't see me.
It's rough. And the music behind it's just as sad. The Fox and the Hound from 1981. An orphaned fox named Todd is adopted by a lonely little old woman, but eventually he's left to fend for himself in the forest all alone.
I remember how we used to play. I recall those rainy days.
Oh, gosh. And I think most people would agree with me, why did she leave Todd the fox out in the woods when a storm was coming? At least wait till there's a sunny day.
This is a movie that my wife calls her cry movie, and she says that we, us as a couple, will never watch it together because it's been something that scars her and leaves her just ugly crying.
And she's not alone. And then, lastly, the never-ending story from 1984, when the swamp of sadness, why do we have to have a swamp of sadness? It takes Artax the horse to his ultimate end.
Artax, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you.
Oh, no.
You have to try. You have to care.
Come on.
For me. You're my friend.
Oh.
I love you.
Oh, no.
And you're watching this horse go to his ultimate demise. It's horrible.
Into the swamp of sadness. Now it just feel like this describes your generation. Now it just all makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even get to movies like E.T. or The Brave Little Toaster is one that still has sat with me.
A list of the best kids
The best.
movies?
So
not the
if
saddest.
No,
the best.
this is the best.
Oh, my
And so if
goodness.
this is the best, it makes you think, what is the worst? But I want to say this. If you decide, if you're up for, hurting yourself, well, then watch one of these movies. But let me just say, you will not leave as the same person you were before you watched them. You will be left scarred.
Oh, man. I'm not going to do it, but good luck to anyone who feels like doing that to themselves today.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.